Hi, in this video we'll look at the uses of alcohols as fuels and the products produced by the combustion of alcohols. We will then look at the solubility of alcohols in water, and finally we will look at the oxidation of alcohols to form carboxylic acids. Alcohols are excellent fuels and they will burn to release large amounts of energy. For example, ethanol is the alcohol which is frequently used in spirit burners and lamps, and it can be even used to power sports and racing cars. Now, alcohols contain the elements carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and recall that when carbon burns in a good supply of oxygen, it will form carbon dioxide, while hydrogen will burn to form hydrogen oxide or water vapour. So burning alcohols should produce carbon dioxide and water vapour, since they contain the elements carbon and hydrogen. For example, methanol and ethanol are both highly flammable alcohols which burn to form carbon dioxide and water vapour. Equations for the combustion of these two alcohols are shown. Now, a common mistake that students make when balancing these equations is they forget to take into account the presence of the oxygen in the alcohol when they attempt to balance these equations, so beware. Now, it is easy to show the products of combustion of an alcohol are indeed carbon dioxide and water vapour using the apparatus shown. If a spirit burner is filled with an alcohol such as ethanol, then when it burns, the fumes can be drawn through the inverted filter funnel and into the first test tube, which is surrounded by a beaker of iced water. Now, this will cause any water vapour produced by the burning alcohol to condense and collect as a liquid in the test tube. This liquid can then be tested with blue cobalt chloride paper, which will turn pink if the liquid in the test tube is indeed water. And finally, the last test tube contains lime water, which will turn cloudy or milky if carbon dioxide gas is bubbled or passed through it. The solubility of alcohols in water decreases as the size of the alcohol molecule increases. This is because it is the interactions of the hydroxyl functional group in the alcohol with water molecules that enables an alcohol molecule to mix freely with the water and form a solution. Now, as the size of the alcohol molecule increases, the influence of the hydroxyl functional group begins to diminish and the solubility will decrease rapidly. For example, small alcohol molecules such as methanol and ethanol are miscible with water in all proportions. This means that you can add as much alcohol as you wish, and the solution formed will not separate into two distinct or separate layers. But if you try this with a molecule such as butanol, addition of more and more butanol to the water results in the formation of two phases or layers, with the alcohol butanol sitting on top of the aqueous water layer. Alcohols can also react with reactive metals such as sodium. These reactions are similar to the reactions of these reactive metals with water in that they form a salt and release hydrogen gas, but these reactions are much slower. Now, the general trend that you find in these reactions is the larger the alcohol molecule, the slower will be the reaction with the reactive metal. So methanol, the smallest alcohol molecule, will react the quickest, while the reactions of ethanol and propanol will be much slower. In the reactions with metals, most of the alcohol molecule remains unchanged. It is only the hydrogen atom attached to the hydroxyl functional group that reacts and is replaced by the metal. This will result in the formation of salts called alkoxides. For example, methanol will lose a hydrogen and form a methoxide ion, while ethanol will also lose a hydrogen to form an ethoxide ion, and propanol will form a propoxide ion. The salt formed will depend on the metal used. So, for example, if you use sodium, then the products of the reaction would be sodium methoxide and hydrogen, while ethanol will react with sodium to form sodium methoxide and release hydrogen gas, and finally sodium will react with the alcohol propanol to form sodium propoxide and hydrogen gas. If wine, which contains the alcohol ethanol, is left exposed to the air, it will quickly go off and sour. The ethanol present in the wine will react with oxygen in the air to give the wine a very sour taste. Now this sour taste is due to the fact that the ethanol has been oxidized to form the carboxylic acid, ethanoic acid. We can write equations for this oxidation reaction to show how the carboxylic acid, ethanoic acid is formed. Now many oxidizing agents other than oxygen can be used to oxidize alcohols, and in equations the presence of the oxidizing agent is usually simply shown by square brackets containing the letter O. Now other alcohols can of course be oxidized to form carboxylic acids. For example, the alcohol methanol can be oxidized to form methanoic acid, and the alcohol propanol can be oxidized to form the carboxylic acid, propanoic acid. A common oxidizing agent which is used to carry out these oxidation reactions is called acidified potassium dichromate. Now this oxidizing agent has a bright orange colour which changes to a vivid green colour after it has oxidized the alcohol to the carboxylic acid. The apparatus used to carry out this oxidation reaction is shown. Here the oxidizing agent, that is the acidified potassium dichromate, is placed in the pear-shaped flask, and the alcohol to be oxidized is simply poured down through the Liebig condenser, and this mixture is heated for around 20 minutes. For more help and information, why not visit the website that accompany these videos, or simply click the links in the description below. If you found this video helpful, then please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks.